Morning, folks. Real Deal Neil here, and quick message, quick live, I suppose, but we all know already by now, nothing happens fast with the Real Deal when it comes to talking, because I like to do it a lot. So I got a message from a really old friend the other day who just, wanted to talk, and we didn't get a chance to talk because things happened in my world that I had to handle. But he was asking for some help, and when I was thinking, how can I help this particular person, or even anybody for that matter, who's looking to have some change happen in their world, I thought to myself, how do you help someone who has it set in their mind that failure is the only option? And I came to the conclusion this morning, the only way to help someone initially like that is to give them a tool to help get their mind right. Because you can lead a person to the water, right? But you can't make them drink. You can give a person a fish and feed them, or you can teach them how to fish. And throughout my career, I've always thought when, the folks I worked with or for were asking me questions, if I worked for them, I got the answers. If they worked for me, I showed them how to get the answers. Am I making any sense here? Right? I didn't just give it to them. I gave them the map to the treasure they were looking for, which was the information. So I thought today I'd take the opportunity to do two things, and I forgot to do the first one first, and that's thank my friend Anthony England. He hooked me up with an Xbox so that I can use that for, I'm not really a video game player, but I suppose I'll play some, but I'm going to use that as a communication tool. So I thank you, Mr. England. Big blue love forever, right? So as I was saying, the only way I thought I could really help that person, because I can talk to them and charge them up and tell them this, right? And if that's needed, I'll do that too. But I thought first it's best maybe to help them get their head right, so that they even know what they're coming to me for. Does that make any sense to you? So rather than just say, here's the answer to your questions, many of which I likely would not have, because the answers to your challenges are often in you, and I believe it's my job to point you at the resources and then to help you interpret those resources and apply them to your specific situation, right? I'm not the answer person. I can show you where the resources are and how I've used them to affect my personal life positively. So it was a really deep question, and I'm not a psychologist, but I do understand success and failure and the slight edge of success and failure, and how you can apply those in your life to have more of what you want and less of what you do not want. So again, getting back to my point, I think the only way that I can truly help someone initially is to help them get their head right. Okay, and I'm not a psychologist. So here's a couple ideas for folks who are out there and they're just lost and they want, they need some form of guidance. Here's some guidance for you today to give yourself a base platform of understanding and maybe help you, wipe out some of those mind viruses that you have. Books. This is where it started for me, right? In this day and age, all of these resources are available online. But when I first started looking at, a deeper sense of consciousness, right, and getting my head right many years ago, I went to books. Now, the thing about this is there's got to be consistency, right? You got to leverage these resources on a consistent basis. It's just like anything. If you're a professional athlete, if you haven't played in years, you get kind of rusty, even if you haven't played in months. So if you want to get involved in getting your head right, to get a basis of understanding on how you can move forward, you have to be consistent, and that's all I'm asking. So the resources that I would suggest to you today, some books that help me understand the world that we live in better. Stephen Covey, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Have a look at that one. It's a deep read, okay? It's not an easy read, in my opinion, but if you can get through it, and you can, right? If you're actually interested in the change we're discussing, then you'll pick this one up. It's online, and have a read through that. The next book that I would suggest Napoleon Hill, W. Clement Stone, success through a positive mental attitude, because it all starts with you, right? Again, you gotta change the conversation that you're having with yourself, and the only way to do that, in my opinion, is to feed your mental faculties with information that will lend itself to helping you to believe in you, right? And the only way you'll, I think, get that is by understanding how this, world really works, right? And the power of your mind. So that's another excellent tool. And so is Canada Check, Canadian Check, Tim Hortons. That's an excellent tool to get your mind going. This next book, it's a heavy read. But it's a very short book, and it's by George Clason. It's The Richest Man in Babylon. This is just a couple of tools that you can use to get your head right, okay? To get that base of positive understanding so that you can move forward. And if you are interested in any of those resources and others, I've got a library here that I could ramble off to you, but there are certain pieces of literature that will help you specifically. It's not you can read as much as possible, please do. But if you have a specific situation that you want to handle in your life, there is tons of very good literature that you can start with. And then when you're ready to have that conversation, you'll have a basis for the conversation. And it won't be just, I'm lost. And I understand that feeling. I've been there, right? But it's up to you to take the first step to clean the mind, try to change the conversation, and then move forward. So if that makes sense to you, direct message me. Again, I'd love to point you to other resources based on your particular situation, and choose to win, folks. On the other side of this quarantine, if you take that simple advice, which is dig in to some content that will help you change the conversation that you're having with yourself on a daily basis, on the other side of this, people aren't going to know who you are, because you're going to be amazing, because you are amazing. Make it a great day, folks, and choose to win.